crippling effect on the pursuit of the good life. Some people decide to take charge of their lives no matter what the circumstances. Others settle and never truly live, but rather just go through the motions. In fact, the world currently is divided into two groups. One group is the larger group, which consists of 95% of people, and the other group is the smaller group, which consists of only 5% of people. The larger group are the group of people who barely tap into their potential. They're the group that survive rather than thrive. This is a group of people who are accident people. They're devoted to go in the direction of the incidents that happen in their lives. They're a product of their environment because they have no goals of their own. They lead average lives, although they are not average people at all. Somehow, they have never thought of themselves as above average people, and they're content in their comfort zone. The sad news is that they have given up on themselves either consciously or subconsciously. The other group, however, is the smaller group, and these are people whose lives are led by their goals and their clear purpose. They are goal people. They might have not been born with exceptional talents, but they lead exceptional lives. Ordinary people with extraordinary self-concepts who lead amazing and contributing lives. They're the ones that lead big lives. They're the ones that are more affluent, are at the top of the ladder of success, and are thriving. It is obvious that the bigger group has and always will produce more of the next generation as opposed to the smaller group. Therefore, many people have been raised in households and by people who have a survival mindset instead of a thriving mindset. So if you came from a family that belonged to the 95%ers, chances are that you were influenced in some of their ways. You were taught not to take risks, you were not taught to set goals, and you were affected in some ways that might have made you a 95%er as well. Amongst that group are people that were born, grew up following not a leader, but following a follower. They wanted to be liked by belonging with the majority, and their comfortable groups became their identity. Therefore, they never set goals and never did much to achieve their goals because goal setting meant that they had to follow a different path, and a path to independence and wealth would mean that they would have to separate themselves from the majority. Today, my goal is to assist you in making a decision to start going towards the smaller percent of the population, or if you're already on your way, to equip you with another pearl or tool that will ensure your arrival. You might ask, are all the members of the 5%ers leading fulfilling lives? Maybe not. How about this? Are there any people who are a part of the 95%ers who lead fulfilling lives? I am certain that there are. However, we know that you're listening to this CD because you're on a journey to better yourself and your life. So let's focus on how we can get you to move towards the top of the ladder, where I once heard a successful person describe as less crowded, with a much better view and cleaner, more crisp air. I also once heard that the burden of living a life of wasted potential is the biggest burden of all. I want to encourage you today to take a look inside yourself, to turn your life around, and if you're already going in the right direction, then keep on charging forth. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you get started. Take action no matter where you are in your life. Nothing is accomplished on the sidelines. That was the title of a story I recently read. It talked about a group of animals and insects who decided to organize a football game. Somehow the teams were organized according to size. All the big animals, including the bears, lions, elephants, and giraffes, were on one team. Rabbits, squirrels, gophers, and insects formed the second team. The game got off to a lopsided start, and at the end of the first quarter, the big animals were leading 56-0. By halftime, their lead had expanded to 119-0. The small animals and insects had produced little offensive yardage and were unable to make a single tackle. As the second half started, the lion received a kickoff on the 25-yard line and was tackled on the 37-yard line. On first down, the bear went up the middle and was toppled at the line of scrimmage for no gain. On the next play, the cheetah attempted to run around the end, but was tackled for a 1-yard loss. The cheetah looked around at the bottom of the pile and saw a centipede smiling back at him. He looked at the centipede and said, "Did you just tackle me? This is the first time I've been tackled all day." "I sure did," the gutsy multi-legged critter responded. "I also tackled the lion and the bear." One of his rabbit teammates questioned, "Where were you the first half when we failed to muster a single tackle?" The centipede responded, "I was tying my shoes." The centipede is a positive role model for those people who are continually sitting on the sidelines. They intend to do something significant as soon as all the conditions are right. I'll show the plan, but first, they expend considerable energy and time preparing to take action, and when they finally get around to making sure all their shoes are tied, it might already be too late. In addition to that, they never end up having all their ducks in a row. Don't tie your shoes. You don't even need shoes. You can make phone calls barefoot. Remember, in this business, as I have heard said sometimes, ignorance on fire is more productive than knowledge on ice.